Hello and welcome to Budget Wow, where we help you crop more with less. Today we'll be showing you how to get your Dominion Kruleboyz to 1,000 points for cheap. So in this video I'll be going over a number of simple and affordable ways to bring your Dominion Kruleboyz to a 1,000 point list in Age of Sigmar 3rd edition. I'm going to go over quickly what's in the Dominion box and how much you get for your money. We'll go over several options to bring your army to 1,000 points with only one additional purchase to the Dominion box. And we'll talk about whether buying a second, third, fourth Dominion box is actually a good idea. And we'll review some sample army lists as well as a bonus S tier competitive list that you're not going to want to miss because people have been sleeping on this one, so stay tuned. So what's actually in the Dominion box? At the time of this video, you can pick up a Dominion box online, the full thing with the rulebook, the Stormcast, and the Kruleboyz for 125 bucks, or you can get just the Kruleboyz models on eBay for an average of about $70 US, which is what we'll be focusing on today. The box gets you 4 heroes and 3 different units, and it's nearly a 1,000 point starting army in and of itself with 940 points total. Going through the contents of the box, you get a killer boss on Great Nashtooth, which is your big centerpiece, quote-unquote, model of the starter box, 170 points. You get a killer boss on foot with Stabgrot for 110 points, and both of these units provide bravery buffs to your models, which is quite useful. You get a Merknob with Belchabana for 95 bucks. He's a totem and has some anti-spell abilities. A little underwhelming rules-wise, but a beautiful model. And a Swamp Calla Shaman, which is probably the highest value hero in the box with his ability to increase your mortal wounds output from just hitting on 6s to hitting on 5s or 6s for a selected unit. Then you also get 2 units of 10 Hobgrot Slitters for 160 points each, 10 Gut Rippers, your standard battle line, for 180 points, and 3 of the famous Manskewer Bolt Boys, which are 120 points, and battle line in the Big Yeller sub-faction. These guys can be pretty scary in large numbers and pump out mortal wounds in high amounts from quite a distance on the table. Like I said, this gets you a total of 940 points. However, in matched play, you can only legally field up to 845, as you'll have to drop one of the heroes, most likely the Merknob with Belchabana, leaving you with about 150 points that you'll need to fill to get this list up to 1,000 points legally. So what next then? Well, for starters, if you're new to the hobby and just bought the Dominion box, you can absolutely play games with the contents of the box alone. I'm mostly going to be discussing matched playlists in this video, but in open play, you can just play all 940 points against a friend. And I would strongly recommend doing that and at least assembling, if not painting, everything you have before buying more. It's just a good habit to get into and will give you a sense of whether this hobby is for you before committing to more. And it's just fun. You can play some really fun games with just the contents of one Dominion box against each other. Just make sure to have your Stormcast friend only field 1,000 points, or it's not going to be very fun for us Kruleboy players. Next, the cheapest option to bring yourself to a 1,000 point list, and a rather fun one, is to pick up a Beast Skewer Killbow. They currently retail for about $30 online, and they have this fun mechanic where on a hit, you roll a number of dice equal to the enemy model's number of wounds, and for every 5 up, they take a wound plus 2 wounds base from the Killbow. So it's very swingy, but can be very fun. It can deal a lot of wounds in one hit when it goes off. And it's just a great looking model to boot. However, for a more competitive option and to set yourself up for a 2,000 point list in the future, you may want to consider picking up a Snatch a Boss on Sludge Raker Beast, aka Swamp Boss Scumdrek, for $50. This guy is a bit of a he's very fighty, has about 14 wounds, and the most important thing about him is he will buff up your other units as he provides an aura of +1 damage whenever Venom Encrusted Weapons goes off on a 6, making your Bolt Boy and Gut Ripper Blobs even scarier than they already were. Another great option, if you can find one for a reasonable price, is the Warcry starter set for Kruleboyz. It retails for about 65 bucks, 80 on the GW website. But it gets you the multi-part kits of both the Bolt Boys and the Gut Rippers, which is nice because these come with the command options notably missing in the Dominion box. And it also comes with Warcry cards and some wound tokens, which are a nice addition for no additional cost. Lastly, you could consider buying more Dominions. If you just look up the Kruleboy half on eBay, there's quite a lot available right now for only 70 bucks. You can just double your Dominion, and it certainly remains the biggest discount of any of these options in terms of overall value. But there certainly are some issues of diminishing returns the more Dominion boxes you purchase. So is it worth it to go into Double Dominion? I just want to quickly go through some pros and cons of this. It's a great value even if you're only using some of the box. However, there's no command elements, which is really a frustrating thing that GW decided to do. But you can kit bash banners and instruments for the Gut Rippers using pieces from the Hobgrot Slitta's sprues. It's a bit fiddly, a bit of a pain, but it is doable. Pros, you get another Swamp Call Shaman. Competitive list runs 2 or even 3 of these sometimes, so that's a great thing to pick up. But you're going to want another one of these, and currently this and the starter boxes are the only way to get another one, or of course buying one on eBay. But for a con, you're getting stuck with those 3 extra heroes, which you're probably not going to want more of in most instances. I don't see much utility in bringing 2 of just about any of them, unless you're just getting started, and it is a cheap way. You could run 2 kill a boss on Nash 2, for instance, could be reasonable. But you're probably going to want to branch out into some of the monsters and other heroes. And for another pro, you get more battle line. Of course, this is the main reason you may want to consider picking up another one, is to get another unit of Gut Rippers and of course another unit of Bolt Boys, but you're getting 20 more Hobgrots that you're probably never going to use. Technically, 2 Dominion boxes get you to 1,500 points, but you're not going to win very many games with it, as I'll show in a minute. So to get us into some sample lists that borrow some terms from Magic the Gathering, this first list is a bit of a Johnny list, if you will, with Dominion and the Warcry starter sets. It'll run you about $135. We're taking the sub-faction Big Yellers, which is a common theme with these lists. For Grand Strategy, I chose Wa, and for Triumph of Bloodthirsty to give us a little extra ability to get in on the charge. So we take for our leader a kill a boss on Great Nashtooth. Give him the super sneaky command trait, which is going to let him move your Gut Ripper blob forward on the table. Artifact Beast Killer Slop for a little bit of anti-monster, and the Fasten command trait to give him more mobility. You got a Swamp Caller Shaman with Potgrot, who knows Nasty Hex to get rid of ward saves, and a Killer Boss with Stabgrot as well. And then essentially what we did is just reinforced both of the battle line units from Dominion with the Warcry set, so 6 Manskewer Bolt Boys and 20 Gut Rippers, all in a 1-drop army and a battle regiment. So really the idea with this is that you can move your unit of 20 Gut Rippers, anything on the table, with super sneaky, and then move your general forward with the Fasten command trait, and try to just YOLO alpha strike your opponent's list. It may not work, but it's fun when it does go off, and you're throwing lots of mortal wounds at your opponent on turn 1. For more of a Timmy list, you can pick up the Snatcher Boss, run yourself up the Swamp Call Shaman with Potgrot, your Snatcher Boss, and your Killer Boss, all for a lot of big toys on the table. And then, of course, take your Bolt Boys and Gut Rippers and a unit of Hobgrot Slitters from the Dominion box, bringing us up to 970 points. This one, of course, is a lot more fighty, a little more durable with that Snatcher Boss, who's really got a little more staying power than some of the other heroes. Lastly, the spike list, of course, is the just running 2 Dominion boxes as a 1.5K list. Um, so if you really want, you could run 2 Nash Tooths, 2 Swamp Color Shamans with Pot Grots, and then 20 Gut Rippers, 6 Bolt Boys, and 40 Hobgrot Slitters. And this, of course, is playing off of the fact that the Hobgrot Slitters are the most powerful unit that the Kruleboyz have available. So good luck to your opponent here. I'm noticing I made a mistake and reinforced too many units, so you'll have to split up one of your Hobgrots, but you get the idea. So what I actually did for my first 1,000 point Kruleboyz list was I just added the kill bow because I thought it looked cool and it was pretty cheap. You can get this for just about $100 if you're buying kind of the cheapest options for all these units, and it's Kruleboyz, Big Yellers, Hold the Line, pretty standard stuff. Kill Boss on Great Nash Tooth as the general, Swamp Color Shaman with Potgrot, of course, and Kill Boss with Stab Grot, as well as your Manskewer Bolt Boys, your Gut Rippers, 2 units of Hobgrot Slitters, and your Beast Skewer Kill Bowl, all wrapped up in a battle regimen as a 1-drop. You know, it's not going to win you any tournaments, but I'm undefeated with this list, as it so happens. And granted, I only played 1 game with it, but I did win. So it's pretty fun. It gives you a good feel for how to play Kruleboyz. It's got a good variety of units and abilities to kind of get you learning the game. And I think this is probably the easiest way to dip your toes in, if not as competitive perhaps as some of the other lists, like the 40 Hobgrot Bonanza on the last slide. Yeah. Anyway, if you like this video, thank you so much for watching. Consider subscribing if you want more high quality content like this. Yeah, if you have anything you'd like to see in a future video, please let me know. I'll read all the comments. So have a wonderful rest of your day and keep painting those minis.